Hello, plant life people. How's it going? I love that some folks are already chatting. It's awesome to see everybody. I actually have a funny story. So I was watching one of my previous videos, and YouTube puts on subtitles. And when I said "Hello, plant life people," it translated "plant life people" as "pointless people." And I thought that was pretty funny because you're not pointless, you're amazing. So thanks for joining us. We're here for another quick, easy, cheap vegan cooking demo. That's my whole point of this channel, is to show you that you can cook cheap, easy, delicious vegan food really fast most of the time. Most of my recipes are super fast. And I have another really awesome one for you today. And I have a new camera stand, and I can kind of move around a little bit, so it's going to be exciting to get some different shots today. But anyway, the recipe that I'm making today, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw this on the meal plan already, was a vegetable gratin. And a gratin is, I believe, a French term, you can correct me if I'm wrong, where it's sort of a baked or crusted cheese dish, and we're going to veganize that. So the inspiration for this week's demo actually comes from a YouTube channel by Yeung, and it's called Yeung Cooking, and he does super easy vegan recipes, and they're all quick, and his videos are really, really cool looking aesthetically. So this is where the inspiration for this recipe comes. So the vegetables we are using today, so that's the first thing in vegetable gratin, is the vegetables, and then I'll show you how to make a quick cheese sauce out of cashews, and it's going to be amazing. So here we go. So these are the vegetables. I can use this cool stand. So these are the vegetables we're using. So I have riced cauliflower. In Will's recipe, it was cauliflower and broccoli only. So I have riced cauliflower. You can just do that in a mini food processor, or you can do it by hand with a grater. And then I have some leftover kale. I have some broccoli. We've got corn and carrots. So you can pretty much do kind of any vegetables you want, but I think the key is to have some sort of rice vegetables like the cauliflower, so that it gives it a bit of bulk, and then chop everything else up small. And then I would just avoid using any kind of vegetables that have a lot of moisture, because you don't want to mess up the moisture content in the cheese sauce, because you'll either get it really soupy or and that won't be delicious. So stay away from cucumbers, tomatoes, mushrooms, anything with like a lot of liquid, or cook those vegetables first, get rid of the liquid, and then put them in your gratin. So that is the first step, and now we need the cheese sauce and the topping. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So for the topping, let's see if I can get a good angle for you folks. For the topping, we're going to start that first because we have to cook it a little. So in here I have 3/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs. Those are usually vegan, or any kind of breadcrumbs that you can buy at the grocery store that are already vegan. And I've got some dried parsley and salt, and we're going to put salt and pepper. So what you want to do is get a nice hot pan. This is very hot. You can make it go very hot if you're going to watch it, but just be careful. And we're going to brown these breadcrumbs. So we want to toast them. So I'll put the salt and pepper at the end, but I just wanted to get them started toasting. And just keep an eye on them when they start going brown. Again, you can do it really quick if you want, if you're going to watch it. Otherwise, put it on low. So that's that started. Very simple. You could also, it's already browning. You could also make your own breadcrumbs by putting some toasted bread or day-old bread or something, some sort of drier bread in a blender and blend it up. And you can reuse like, not reuse, but use like the ends of your bread, and that's a good way to get rid of them, but you want them to be pretty small. So these are already browning up. I had this pan preheated for the demo, so it goes fast. And because they're going fast, they're almost done. So this is very simple, this part. So you can see they're already getting a bit brown in the pan, which is great. And the little crumbs and dust will get brown first, but you want some of the bigger pieces to get browned as well. So that got done very fast because I was smart and preheated. So we're actually going to turn that right off. But you want to make sure, again, See the little brown bits? You want to get some of them toasted for flavor and get nice and brown. So there's our topping. We'll try to keep this out of our way. And now we're going to make our cheese sauce. So what you need for the cheese sauce is half a cup of cashews. So these I soaked in some boiling water and just let it cool down, and then I rinsed them out. If you're going to use a Vitamix, you probably don't need to soak them, but if you have a smaller bullet blender like we're going to use, you want to soak them so they're easier to blend down and get smooth. You want it to be smooth. So that's part of the sauce. And then we have all the seasonings that are going to go in it. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. So we've got 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I've got garlic and onion powder. I've got an extra garlicky seasoning mix that I like, and I've got some dried thyme and salt and pepper. So this is actually one of those really cool recipes, just like with the veggies that we're using. You can kind of use up whatever's in your fridge, and the same with the seasonings. If you want to do a Mexican-inspired seasoning and put some fajita mix in there, or any kind of different herbs that you prefer, you can use whatever you like and make this your own thing. So do what you like with the herbs, but you need the nutritional yeast at least to give it that cheesy flavor and also thicken it up. So do what you like with that. We're going to put that in first. All in there. And then we're going to put our half a cup of soaked cashews in there. Ta-da. And then I have, so this is 1.5 cups of water. It sounds like a lot, but it will firm up when you bake it. This bullet blender is a little on the small side, so I don't know if I'll get all of this 1.5 cups of water in there, but we're going to give it a go. If you have a little bit less, it's not a big deal. You just want it most up, but it'll fit. And then to give the sort of cheese sauce a little bit of tang for that cheesy, that tang that cow's milk cheese might have given you if you're missing that, we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it as well. So I'm just going to do a capful, which in my eyeball is like just under a teaspoon. And that'll give us a nice tang to the sauce. And then now what we're going to do is blend it until it's smooth. And that's going to be kind of loud, but have some patience. Doesn't take long because I soaked the cashews. Let's make sure that's on tight. That's a lot of liquid. And then just shake it up so you can get all the dry stuff off the bottom there. A little bit of loud noise. I think we got it pretty smooth. If there's a little bit of chunks, it's not a big deal, but you just want to make sure that you get the chunks of the cashews out. They're going to soften up in the oven. It's not too big of a deal. And kudos to my cousin for making a corny joke about lemon juice in my eyeball. There. So now we have our sauce. We've got our toppings, which I actually forgot to do my salt and pepper. Again, with the toppings, you can also be a little bit creative with the toppings where you can put other herbs other than just the parsley in there. You could get some, some vegan Parmesan or whatever, as long as it's a drier version, and put that in. My favorite's always BioLife. They sell it in blocks of Parmesan, which would be amazing. So let's just mix that salt and pepper in there. And now we've come to the part where we're going to assemble it, and it's so super easy, that's my favorite recipe to make. I don't, when people first go vegan or they're trying to go vegan, they're trying to figure out what to make. You want to make it easy for yourself. So we're going to get a pie plate, or if you have one of those nice square sort of ramekin ceramic ones, those are the best to use. We're going to give it a little spritz. But again, it shouldn't stick too much to your pan, but you just in case. We're not going to cook it for a very long time. So what we want to do, let's see if I can get this into view here. There we go. So we're going to mix our veggies. I should have put these in a bigger bowl, but you just want to mix them up really well. And we're gonna hope that this fits in my pie plate. This is a lot of veggies going on, but they will cook down. But they won't, when you put the sauce in, it's not something that's gonna bubble up, so you can get fairly close to the top of your pie plate or your pan. So just make sure you mix everything together equally so that each bite is delicious with whatever veggies you want. And then we're going to put it right in here. Again, hope I don't make a mess onto my oven. Let's mix that up a little bit more. So this can be served as a main if you want to eat a lot of it, that's cool. But you can also serve it as a side. It would be a very delicious side. I think today we might have it with some baked tofu on the side. So this is good here. Or you can just eat a giant pan of it if you want. So we've got that down there. We're fairly close to the top. So we're going to see what the liquid looks like. So here's our delicious liquidy cheese sauce. And we're going to pour that in. So the veggies will soak this up right away, so make sure that you kind of sprinkle everything equally. It's going to fill in all of the spots. So take that all the way to the edges. The other thing I love about this recipe, if you don't end up putting your extra vegan cheese, is that it's a whole food recipe, which is pretty healthy for you. Whoa, we're super full. Okay, so that is full. But you do want to, you can kind of settle it, or you can just push some of the liquid out. It's all going to get in there, but you want to just make it equal. There we go. And then we're going to put on our breadcrumbs. So if you've let these cool off, you can sprinkle them on by hand. But I'm just going to dry off my spatula and use that. Just be careful that you don't get breadcrumbs in all your crevices. So you want to sprinkle that on. Again, make it as even as possible because you also eat with your eyes. You want it to look good, and then you want each bite to have an equal amount of all these flavors. I like lots of breadcrumbs, so I'm going to keep going and just pile these right in. And then that's it. Look, it's super easy, and it looks really cool with the parsley. I like that look. Having the greens on top is really nice, so let's check that out. Fantastic. And what you could do at this point if you wanted to, which I'm going to do with this batch, is you could freeze it, let it cool down, whatever you've cooked. The cheese or the breadcrumbs need to cool down a little bit, and you could cover it and freeze it like that, and then bake it from frozen. It probably would get a little bit more moisture in it, but it would just bubble up and it would still thicken up. Or you're going to put it in a 350-degree oven, and you only need to cook it for about 15 minutes. When I first read the recipe, I thought that wasn't going to be long enough, but it was perfect timing to get the cheese sauce to firm up. So 350 degrees for 15 minutes or freeze it. And I always call it TV magic, even though this isn't TV. I have a prepared one, so we're going to check it out. I think, if we can get a good angle. There we go. So we're going to put this one away. And we're going to take, ooh, it's hot, this one out of the oven. Look at that. I don't know if you can hear it bubbling. So this is super warm, and it got even more golden, and you can see it's nice and firm. Look at that. Amazing. So now I have to try not to burn myself while I have a taste test. So let's grab our fork from before. Here we go. Let's give it a go. Let's see. So you can see it's nice and firm, and all the cheese sauce is in there. Look at this. Let's get a close up. Look at that. Steamy and delicious. So again, if you had, this is a great, side, but it's also something you could just eat a giant bowl of. It's so good. And again, you can customize the flavors exactly the way you want. So hopefully I don't make a mess holding this camera and holding this. And I have to blow it off because otherwise I'll burn myself live on camera and that will not be fun for anybody. Ooh, watch the breadcrumbs when you're blowing. All right, let's give it a go. I'm gonna blow it off from the sorry. Oh, it's so hot. Bad form on the demo. That's really good. So that really firmed up. I was really worried about the amount of liquid, and it actually is really delicious. Super warm. Obviously, let it cool down. And then I get like the savory from the nutritional yeast and the cashews. It's really good. I would probably, in the next batch, put a lot more herbs in it. I can just taste the garlic seasoning and the thyme just a little bit. So I would actually up that, put a lot of thyme in it. I only put about half a teaspoon or more. So I would just adjust the herbs to your liking, put a lot in, but amazing dish. Use up all the leftover veggies that you have and just pour a cheese sauce on it. Like, how much better can you get than that? So that, folks, is the vegetable gratin. And you can see in the bottom, it got nice and thick. So that's it. That is it. So thank you so much for joining me this week again. I appreciate all your support, your patience with my technical difficulties, and hopefully I've inspired you to make a new recipe or make a vegan recipe if you're not already vegan. And if you have any ideas for future demos that you'd like me to try that are short and easy, please send them my way. You can get me on my Facebook at the Plant Life Canada or on Instagram, or you can leave a message below. And I will link the original recipe from Young Man Cooking so that you can see that original recipe. It was delicious as well. And that's it. If you have time, put a like on this video, and please stick around and watch some other videos so you can show that good old YouTube algorithm that you like my channel and they should show more people my stuff. That's it. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go play around with my cool new camera stand and eat this entire bowl of vegetable gratin. Bye, everybody. Thank you.